Why is the gender policy important? Fundamentally, we're talking about 50% of the population of Latin America and the Caribbean. There's been some advances. If you compare by OECD levels, there is no question that Latin America and the Caribbean can show that there's been tremendous advances when it comes to gender. There's been a very important development recently, which shows that the two most important economies in South America, Brazil and Argentina today, elected women presidents. So there's been some advance. However, there's still areas in Latin America and the Caribbean where we have problems, especially in Afro-Latino women, in the case of indigenous women, and more importantly, in the income that women perceived as a percentage of the income that men perceived. Now, where are those gaps and what are the causes of those gaps? They could be in education, they could be in gender policy that governments are applying. And so what we're trying to do is basically put our policy up to speed with what are the realities of Latin America and the Caribbean today. The whole policy of gender equality has an objective, and that's to mainstream our operations throughout the bank, as opposed to simply calling the attention to the gender policy and gender issues in general. So we're basically moving from advocacy to introducing this alongside the different operations of the bank. Having said that, there's a number of examples of what we have been doing. With regard to the generosity of the people of Spain, we have the Spanish Water and Sanitation Fund. This is a very important fund that, alongside with lending that the bank does, we are basically working in areas where women are very much at the center of what we are attempting to do, especially given the impact that water and sanitation make on people's lives, on health of children, especially under 5. Secondly, one of the most popular programs and one of the most innovative social policies that Latin America has had over the years are the so-called conditional cash transfer programs. And here, basically, those transfer of resources are typically done to women on the condition that they send their children to school and on the condition that they themselves, as well as their children, go through medical tests to establish nutrition, to establish maternal and reproductive health care. In terms of private entrepreneurship, which is something that is so critical to help women increase their income, we have been working with Mi Banco in Peru, a program of $10 million to support women entrepreneurs. Secondly, a very interesting and innovative program that we're doing with the First Lady of El Salvador, which is the so-called Women's City. Here again is a very innovative program focused on women that we hope that we can see it replicated in other countries in Latin America.